Good afternoon. Welcome to the Self-Care Check podcast. CEO, Dr.Willie Moody. Baby Steps Entertainment CEO, Ezequiel Aka EZ. Myself, your host. I'm here today with Nicholes Arthur Sr. And we're here talking today about discernment. And I would normally start with the affirmation reading myself and then introducing the host. But today we're going to do something a little special and allow the host, because he chose the affirmation, which is Proverbs 31, and he's going to explain to us why he chose Proverbs 31 and why is it tied with discernment.
Okay, and that was an excellent intro by my brother Ezekiel. I'm Nick, and first of all, I am a child of God. I am a man of God. That's before everything else. Because we tend to attach everything else to our accomplishments, everything else to what we are, and I'm God's kid first. Then secondly, I'm a dad. I have a 10-year-old. He's gonna be 11 in July. Oh man, okay. Clap it up for the kid. Yes, yeah.
Yes.
He's awesome. He can swim.
Yes, he can.
Amen. And he's very intelligent. And this whole journey is just seeking to show him that there are other things other than the traditional route. Traditional route. So this is for you, kid. Nick, if you see this, when you see this,
Junior out there.
Yeah, this is the first one, right? This is my first podcast ever, so this might be my first podcast on a career tier of many other podcasts, or this could be my last podcast. So we're gonna see today. We're gonna see today what happens. So whatever. I am from Paterson, New Jersey. I grew up.
Paterson.
Yep. Clap it up for Paterson. Yep. Just Blaze is from Paterson. So we need to give him a day too. Andre Saya, give him a day. Give Just Blaze a day, please. And give him a street too. He needs all
Just
those.
Blaze
Yeah, Just Blaze Street. But I am from here. I went to William Paterson University. I went to Barnstable Academy in Oakland, New Jersey. I went to private school. Before that, I went to Norman S. Ware. We all know Norman S. Ware. And before that, School 28. So I did a lot of school hopping. I am a college dropout, like Kanye. I'm also, prior military. I was in for 4 years. I was a chaplain's assistant. I used to write professionally, wrote at Cash Money. Shout out to Ed Grohr. That's a little Wayne's lawyer. Wrote for his wife. Shout out to Troy Paterson. Obviously, if you guys don't know him, he founded Mario. You Should Let Me Love You, Mario. So clap up for him too. Also, got to work with Tony Moody. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Tony Moody, aka D Moet, who produced "Hate Me Now" by Nas. So him and I are good friends. He's a Paterson native too. So I could go on about a lot of things that I have done through the power of God, but I will not, because today. Today is not about that. Today is about helping my brothers and sisters out today. Today is about helping us out with what we call the Jezebel spirit. So we're gonna go with Easy, right? Asking me some questions about Proverbs 31, right?
Yes.
Actually, before we even get to Proverbs 31, I wanted to talk about who and what the Jezebel spirit is,
Okay,
right?
we can do that.
I think
then
that's
jump right into
exactly.
to Proverbs.
So this article says that Jezebel lived during the 9th century BCE. And if you guys got a Bible at home or on your phone, you can find this in 1 Kings 16:31. It says that she married northern Israel's king Ahab. So guys, I want you to remember the name Ahab. Because men can't be Jezebels, but they can be Ahab. And the couple was established in the northern capital of Samaria. As a foreigner with foreign forms of worship, King Ahab built an altar to Baal in Samaria to appease Jezebel. So that's the biggest thing. So that's one of the biggest things. King Ahab was a follower of the God of Moses, or the God that we know today, Jesus. But he was a follower of the God of Israel, and he allowed this foreign woman to come and to make him, sex him up so good that he switched gods.
Wow.
Right? We heard that phrase in Sunshine, exactly. Make a man switch gods. You want to stay away from a woman that make you switch gods. And I mean,
or stay away from a man that can make you switch.
Or
gods.
a man that make you switch gods. That is true. You want to stay away from anyone make you want to switch gods. But the equivalent today is like, dating people with, who believe in horoscopes, crystals, tarots, ancestry worship, any of that stuff. You kind of want to stay away from, So it says that as a result, Jezebel is described as an enemy of God who was killing off the Lord's prophets. So if you notice that that a lot of people are dying around this woman, right? She calling up her little bro, big bro, side piece, sneaky link, and then somebody wind up dying in the hood over it, or not even in the hood, but any kind of circumstance, then she might be the Jezebel spirit. You know what I mean? That. So we can get the rest of the story in First Kings, but Jezebel is a woman who is very against the principles of God, very against marriage, very sexual, very sensual, but isn't about life. She isn't about life and growth.
So that's why you chose Proverbs 31.
That's why I chose Proverbs 31 to get the very antithesis of her. That mean opposite. That so indicative. But to get the very opposite of her, so we can have a reflecting point to draw off of. So we won't just be bashing women today. We won't be doing that.
All right, never.
We're gonna be talking about the Proverbs 31, but we also gonna be talking about the woman to stay away from, and not just the woman, but the man too, to stay away from. Okay. So easy. I got you. So it says, Proverbs 31, it says that a wife of noble character who can find. So she's not in the club. I mean, she could be, but most likely not. She's not a commoner. She's not in common places. She probably not listening to the city girls. And I know that's not, that's probably a controversial statement. She's probably not listening to Cardi B or anyone that might be pro abortion. She is a woman that is not common. And it says that she's worth far more than rubies in a Rolex and in a Maybach. Her husband has full confidence in her. So
full confidence.
Yeah, full confidence, not half confidence. Not like, oh man, I think she might not be cheating, but I don't know. Her best friend
investigate.
Yeah, he has full confidence in her, and says that he lacks nothing of value.
What you mean by that?
Okay, well, what do we find valuable, guys? Well, one, a trustworthy woman is valuable. We find someone who that when we have deficiencies or insufficient in life. Say if you lose your job, do you feel that your wife or your hopefully your wife, not your girl, but your wife, do you feel that she will that she's invested enough for you to not fall on your face? Oh yeah. Do you guys feel
Let's engage with the audience on that.
Yeah. Anybody out there married? Anybody? Okay. Okay. So it says that her husband has full confidence in her. Now, this isn't bashing, and now you don't have to answer this question if you don't want to, but do you feel that your husband has full confidence in you that if he lost this job, the 401k gets wiped out, what else happened? The house get caught up in a tornado. Does he have confidence in you that you have invested and that you will not leave him in that circumstance?
Yes, my husband Ronald Joseph, yes, he does. We came in together, not broke, but we came in together down, and we gonna still be together down regardless, no matter what. If I lost my job, I know he got it. If he lost a job, we got it.
Okay.
I'm gonna stand behind him all the way, no matter what. Even if we're on the corner selling sandwiches.
Amen. Amen.
I got him. Yeah, I got him. You want juices? 25 cents. Like, I'm gonna build him up regardless.
Amen. Amen. And if I may ask, what is your religious background?
Christian.
Okay, you're a Christian. Okay. And have you been taught this by someone? Did you have an example in the family, or was anyone like telling you this, or did you just pick this up on your own?
Basically picked it up on my own. Like, I see how my mom, my father is, because I'm really in church, but I kind of like picked it up on my own, a little bit from church, a little bit from pastor, a little bit from friends.
Okay.
But I basically learned it on my own.
Okay, so basically you had really good influences. Okay, and if I may ask, and this is just from my personal preference, do you listen to the City Girls at all? Okay, amen. All right. Okay. Keep along. Oh God. So.
I lost my job at FedEx a few years ago.
Okay.
And the hardest decision I had to make, come home and tell wifey, I lost my job.
Okay.
And I told her, she said, F them. That's when we started our own business.
Okay,
So,
amen.
yeah, I get it.
Hey, my brother. Yes. And if I may ask, your ages, how old are you guys?
64.
36.
34 and 64 and 36. Okay, that's pretty awesome. And you are a Proverbs 31 woman. You are rare. You are very rare. So, and my brother, you have a rare situation as well. So, we just thank God for that too. We thank God for that too. And would you say, if I may ask you, what's your name, my brother? Mark. Okay. Would you say that there are health benefits from having that type of situation, like that you are benefiting health wise from having a woman to understand you losing your job?
No doubt. I tell young people, you marry somebody who loves you.
Amen.
Don't marry the person you love.
Okay. All right.
Because that situation right there, because of the love my wife has for me, she dealt with the situation and did what she had to do to make sure I didn't feel less of a man, didn't feel bad or negative. She totally doing her line, so to speak.
Yes.
Okay.
I look at that as being very a comparable woman.
Got you. And I love to I love to hear stories like this. Like, you guys are rare, and I'm glad I got like great people in the audience today. That we got great people in the audience today. So,
I might ask you, like, based off of this, like, based off of the Jezebel spirit and off of Proverbs 31, how did the Jezebel spirit relate to you in referencing your situation?
Okay. Well, to me, if I cut deep, honestly, we kind of all grew up with aunties, mamas, with the because it starts when we're small.
Yes.
We see something when we're small, and then it kind of relates to us when we're big, right?
Yeah.
So we see sometimes our mothers aren't with our fathers, and then they're dating multiple partners, and then
So you would say that would make me just saying that would make me as a man want to feel like I might need more than just one woman.
Exactly, because you're like, well, how men are relating to the woman that I love is that they love her or they have fun with her and they leave.
But what if I have an opposite effect where seeing how my mom is, I don't want that type of woman.
Now,
my mom could be a good woman.
No.
I might want a woman that's worse.
Okay. So
I don't want her. She too good. She pleads too much. She gets stepped over.
Gotcha.
But I'm looking for a woman that's not gonna do what she do, but still someone that's gonna step over me.
So I get you, and I mean, we always have to track where that abuse starts.
Yeah.
Because that abuse starts from somewhere. Like if you are a man and you are like, oh, she's too nice, she's too kind, you got to be like, okay, hold up. There's something inside of me that is wrong.
Yeah, if I'm seeing that this is wrong.
You cook me a meal and I'm slapping it off the table, I might have to go to, some mental health services and Jesus. Because those are big issues. And I think it takes that type of self-awareness to know beforehand to say, okay, I shouldn't enter a marriage. Yeah. I shouldn't do that. Because I know that I'm going to destroy myself and the person. Yeah. But my situation specifically is this. We won't use names. So I am Christian. And I was in the military when I met my wife. Yeah.
Who also was in the military? She was
in the military, but she's 8 years older than me.
She was in the Air Force.
Yeah, she was in the Air Force. 8 years older than me, right? And I saw the red flags in the beginning, but I didn't have this word, and I didn't have. Well, yeah, you can't discern what you don't know. Yeah. I mean, you can't discern, not that type of stuff. Or if you discern it, like you have to have someone to kind of remind you. Like sometimes it's the bros or your uncle, but you need someone to remind you. Like, hey, man, yeah, real men to tell you, like, hey, if she been in the streets, don't do that. Don't do that. All right. Not that she's lesser than a person. She's just making bad decisions. Okay. And those bad decisions will lead you to your death sometimes.
So would that still exclude you from being friends with this person?
Kind of, yeah, because like, if you see someone as an alcoholic, we don't really go out and seek people that are alcoholics, right? Mm-hmm. Why? Because like we know that it leads to death. Ultimately, the lifestyle, or it's going to lead to you being in an accident with someone.
Driving a car.
Yeah, driving a car, and then you get into an accident. So the same thing when you around someone that's with promiscuity. Now we're men. We're going to get tempted. Look, you're going to get tempted around a promiscuous woman. You playing with fire. Saying in the Bible, like, can you play with fire and not get burned? You're going to get burned. Yeah. You're gonna get burnt, man. But
so let's take this to the audience and have them give us brief stories or situations that relate based off of what Nicholes just described.
Yeah, I need the horror stories. Where are the horror stories?
Who going through something? You marry a woman. Okay. Yeah, I got 4 children. Okay. Live in an apartment building. The landlord lives on the first floor. Okay. She don't pay the rent. Okay. She works at the credit union where I put my money. I drive a UPS package car. Okay. I drive my car in the morning, give her my check on Thursday mornings. I'm supposed to take care of the bills. Mm-hmm. My landlord comes to my door and asks me, what's going on? Okay. That's what you mean. Rent wasn't paid. For April, this is going into May. Okay. Mm-hmm. I asked her, I told her I'd be back. I took her to her job. Okay. We get to the job. My account at $12.72. Okay. I want to know where my money. Okay. I beat her so bad, somebody called the cops. The cops came and got me. I said, well, you better take her home because she get my car. I'm going to continue to do that. Where is my money? Okay. Long story short, she had a bingo habit. Okay. Mm-hmm. You more concerned with playing a game. Yeah. Than paying your rent when you live.
Maybe she felt she could win the money.
That's the whole goddamn yeah.
Well, I think that both both cases, from the beginning whether you have a temper. You know from the beginning whether you have a temper, right? Yeah. My brother, you know from the beginning whether you have a temper, right? Like you've been in scenarios before. So, at that point, you got to say to yourself, hey, you know what? I might not want to enter a marriage because I know that in the wrong scenario, this going to happen. Then you increase your chances, when you do have a temper, even if it's not to the ultimate point of abuse, but you're detrimenting your own health by being with anyone, man or female, that will tempt you to argue. In the first place, why are you being tempted to argue? What are you, in retrospect, arguing about? Facts. Like you're going to die. You can't take nothing with you. Money isn't. You know what it is? I think it's idolatry. Like we love money so much that we separate we don't separate the identity of who you are with and without money. So if you got money, you're something. If you don't got it, you're nothing. And we care about others' opinions so much that it detriments all our relationships. God can provide whatever amount of money that you want, right? He can, but he's not going to provide it if he knows that you're going to change up. You have to be with the money. Yeah. Like, you're going to treat your partner bad. He already sees, and that's the weird thing about like how we interact with each other. We treat each other, even in non-marital relationships, we don't treat each other with the respect of God, like as if God doesn't see. And some people don't believe in God. That's why we kind of have the results of what we have in society
But
today.
that still takes for one to know themselves, to have that understanding of the respect that they're giving to another person.
Okay. Yeah. What do you mean by know yourself?
Like literally spending time sitting down, like not even just praying necessarily, because some people don't pray because they don't believe.
Okay.
Some people simply believe in the fact that, I'm a believe solely in myself.
Okay.
And the fact that I know by as far as the responsibility and the accountability of who is in control of my life, even though we can all say that God is in control. God knows all before it happens or is done.
Okay.
True. But the moment of where the decision part is made, that's the one thing God don't know. Me choosing to do right is my choice. Okay. Once I chose to do right, then God knows everything else after that. Once I choose to do wrong, then God knows everything else after that. If I choose to stay in the middle, I'll stay lukewarm. And we also know you can't be hot, let alone cold for God. You can't, you either going to be hot or you're going to be cold for God. You can't be lukewarm. Staying in the middle will only keep you there placing. Stagnant. You're not going nothing. You're not changing. You're nothing. You're not growing anywhere. You're just becoming stagnant. And God don't like things like that. So he'll spit that out. He'll cast you out. So you making no choices or changes or growth in your life, you're just going nowhere. Now, a person making choices, good or bad, happy, sad, okay. God is okay with that because you're doing something with the life in which he has given you.
Okay.
So even down to the Jezebel spirit, he don't like them things, but those things are there. He has given us the will to choose to follow.
And I mean, you're right. I mean, he doesn't stop you from getting in a car and drinking and crashing. I mean, it's in the Bible, you can do what you want to do, but everything isn't beneficial.
No.
See, and that's the thing, like we separate the benefits from things for the temporary benefits of things on the long term.
And not weigh the consequences, you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, that's because you don't. Okay, so think about it. If you've never experienced something and then you only see the benefits, for instance, a City Girl song sounds great. Like, I mean, right? She talk about scamming them, robbing them, having sex with them, leaving them. But then they don't tell you about the jail time. They don't tell you about the unwanted pregnancy. They don't tell you about the psychology aspect. They don't even be there to bail you out of jail. So they taking your money and don't even bail you out. That's crazy, right? But a Scarface movie looks good, right? But Scarface, thank God they told you the end result of being a gangster, right? Like, it looks good to sell the yayo. It looks good to shoot people and to get to your enemies. But it didn't look good when Scarface got his back shot up and he's laying in a pool of his own blood. That's the point, man. Like, we have to see the end game of everything.
Yes.
That's why so like little arguments, right? In marriage, it starts off little arguments, then it becomes worse, right? Look at the end game of what you're doing. That's why if it's saying about to measure the house right before you build it. Measure your level of dedication. Be honest with yourself. You're a man. Okay, say, you know what? I struggle with dedication. I struggle with it, and it's okay to struggle with it, but don't enter a marriage. You're a woman. That's cool. You love and you have these feelings of love. That's great. But if you know that you can't have sex with him often, frequently, and not like conditionally, don't get married. I mean, you can go out there and be a thought. I mean, you can. But
let's bring in the audience.
Probably shouldn't.
Let's see how the audience take on that.
First, I want to say two things. First of all, I don't know if you people that are into the Bible, you may know where this coming from. Speaking of discipline, it says that as a man, you would rather sleep outside on the roof of your house than to share that roof with a disrespectful woman.
Yeah, Jessica, somebody said it right. Let's say
So I want to point that out, but I also want to point out the Ahab.
Yes, sir.
Energy. I for most of my adult life, that's the realm that I was in. I just did not see myself with one woman, but I never lied to a woman. I never, if there was another woman that was involved in it, I let them know.
Yeah.
After I had my son, and it became important to make good examples for him.
Yes.
I changed my ways.
And what? Okay, so what about the type of women that you were dealing with made you change when you had a son?
It wasn't the women; it was me. I had a realization. I was reading my journal. I had a bunch of them lined up from that covered 10, 15 years, and I noticed that at some point in time, each one of the women that I had broken up with, I wrote, this chick is crazy, this sister's crazy. And then I looked at the common denominator with all those women. It was me.
Okay, but I need you to go into details. What made you make a statement that they were crazy?
Well, Lord.
See, and this is where I want to address. I want to get there.
I had one sister that I was dating. She was a professional dancer.
Okay, hold on. What kind of ballet?
Exotic stripper.
Well, she
Tap dancer.
She did a little bit of ballet every now and then.
All right.
But she was
Avon and Ailey.
She was a exotic dancer.
Exotic dancer. Okay.
But see, the thing was with her, she saw me as being so much more than her.
Okay.
To where she was embarrassed for what, because I used to go to the clubs and watch her.
Okay.
I used to go to the clubs and I had a good time there. Every time I went there, she bought me some champagne.
Okay.
She'd bring over all of her tips and just drop them in front of me and let me count them out and everything.
Who was pimping? Who was pimping?
That was a pimping. That was a friend.
But what you're saying, the spirit that was drawing me to that when I didn't desire a close relationship.
Why is that?
I didn't. I was young.
I'm saying, what about her said, nah, not you?
No. She was saying not me because she thought that I was better than she.
No. I'm asking you. What made you say not you?
What me say not her?
Yes.
Emotions.
Okay. What about emotions?
She had gotten an abortion, and I was ready to propose to her.
Okay.
And I didn't find out she had the abortion until we were coming back from my aunt's funeral. And it was bitterness in me. In all honesty, we should have went through that pain together, and because we're cool now. Okay. We're real cool now. As a matter of fact, the man that she ended up marrying literally thanked me for breaking her heart, because if I wouldn't have broke her heart, she wouldn't have left Jersey, then moved to North Carolina. He would have never. I mean, we literally had this conversation. Okay. But I believe that in an openness and an honestness. Okay. And then when I started to get older, and I decided after my mom died, the spirits kept telling me, you're going to have a baby. And I'm like, y'all bugging, I'm not having a baby. And that went on for a year and a half, just in my head, until I said, okay, I'll choose the woman though. Okay. So I cut off all the women that were my type.
Okay.
And I went to something that was completely opposite.
Okay.
You know, and then going into that opposite direction, I ended up marrying someone whose family were religious zealots. They believe you. They still go to church every Sunday and get on Wednesday and all that. And I said, that's not for me.
Yeah,
that's not for me. But as a woman, I was never in love with the woman I married. I married her because the Spirit said a vessel was coming through. And I remember the night that we literally got pregnant. I had a dream, had it 3 times. On the 3rd night, I woke up at like 5 in the morning and said, "You're pregnant." Okay. And then I was able to go back to sleep and have a restful sleep.
Okay, I just wanted to address one thing that you said. You said in love. We hear that so much. In love. Man, I can be in what T-Pain said. I'm in love with a what? Exactly. In
bartender.
Yeah, but the thing is, love is not an emotion. It's a choice.
It's an action.
No, it's a choice. God loves you, even though you don't even recognize him, and you don't love him back in the way that would be reciprocal. In a way, he died for you. Like, there's nothing you can do to replace his love. There's nothing you can do to earn his love. Like, he literally made everything. He loves you. But yet, he died for you, and you don't deserve it. That's the love. When it says love your wife like Christ loves the church, that's the kind of, she doesn't deserve it. She may be nasty sometimes. Hopefully she's not. But she gonna be simple. Hopefully she's not lustful, but she's gonna have flaws. You're gonna love her through the flaws and choose to love her. But the in love feeling, that's endorphins, man. That's just the synapses in our brain sparking. Oh man, the booty is nice, she looked nice. That's endorphins. But when you get past the endorphins, that's the love. That's the love, man. And see, having that, you know what? We don't look at it like when we see our children, right? When they don't have a personality, they're just like little babies, like, right?
Impressionable.
But what we do, we spend time with them, and we nurture the relationship to become a loving relationship. Why don't we do the same with our partners? Yeah, it's formless. This person might be potato salad, but put some seasoning in there, and it's gonna come out all right. It might be bland white people potato salad, or I'm sorry, the other folks potato salad, but put some seasoning in your food. Put some seasoning in your relationship. Nurture the person, and they should also be nurturing and loving you and growing with you in the same way.
That's how I feel now, cause like.
But you're rare.
Let's take 2 more questions.
You need someone not rare.
Yeah, that's how I feel now, because like my kid's father, he was like, so like what's that word, Ava? Like he was messing around with other people. Yeah, like wherever he laid his hat, that's where he was making babies.
Yeah.
So now
women were controlling him.
Yeah. So it's like instead of putting all my love into it, I just let it be. So now I found me, like you said, I found me a faithful guy that go to church. You know, my husband's father's a pastor. He go to church. Like, that's all we do. We pray together. You know, like you said, it's hard to find somebody that love Christ. Yeah. And that's what I love about him. Like, you know, it's hard to find a good man that you can sit there and pray together. When you sleep, he praying for you. Like, he's like giving me that nurture, because I never had that type of love. Yeah. Our kids love him. Like, they always adore him. Like, you know, we go to Bible study together. It's like you said, like, you don't find that, because when I was coming, I was never a Jezebel. I had friends, but I never did the things they did. I ain't never smoked, hang out, dress sexy just to get anybody. I was just being myself, and I guess my old boyfriend, he didn't like, I was just being me. I was hard on me because you need to help me take care of the kids. We made it together. But it's like now I'm just blessed, because like now I got God, I got my husband, like, you know, we got that nurture. Like, he helped me, I help him.
And I thank you for your input. Well, look, I thank you for your input, you rare jewel. So
we're gonna make a closing remark from Nick, and like is there any last words for inspiration towards the viewers to that you want to leave as far as
Well, first I would like to, thank you guys for listening and being here with me. One, it says in the end of Proverbs that a woman who fears the Lord will be praised. That's one. So fear the Lord, respect the things that he has to say, when it comes to how to treat people and how to live. Just remember to just pray over your spouse, to love your spouse, make love to your spouse, play that music. Also, if we can, this is more from my generation, let's not date. Let's emphasize getting married in a godly way.
in courting.
Yeah, and courting for a short time, because we know when it go too long, then it turn to situationship.
All right. In that closing, thank you again for everyone attending Self Care Check podcast.